I miss football already. Let me just start there. Super Bowl 57, I think we can call that a classic. Chiefs 38, Eagles 35. We'll get into it play-by-play, guessing line style right here from the top. You'll forgive us because this is an annual tradition here on A Numbers Game where we come in Monday morning after the Super Bowl, just before vacation, and go through it all, not only next year's odds, but blow by blow from yesterday. What ended up, Kelley, being for me, and I didn't anticipate this at all, right? Like I didn't know it would play out this way. Ends up being my best Super Bowl betting-wise and the greatest in-game experience of my life. And I could not have told you that was going to happen. It's not like Ole Miss, right, and Iga and the Atlanta Braves and the NFL draft and all that where you plan it in advance. That's the beauty of the different kinds of betting.
Yeah, it definitely ended up a hot prop streak for me and then some in-game bets. I think it ended up being one of my better Super Bowls in a while, too. And just like you said, I mean, I didn't have a bet on the side pregame, right? It's just all getting in live. We'll go over all that stuff. But, yeah, it was not something I was expecting yesterday. A small losing golf week, so that sure made me feel good after that Super Bowl last night.
Scotty Scheffler, which we have said on this show, you probably should have a piece of him in everything. Let us talk about the Super Bowl. Classic, for sure. And we'll talk about everything, including the call at the end that essentially sealed the deal for the Kansas City Chiefs. And let's begin, Kelley, without further ado. First of all, babyface soared over the total. 90 seconds was where I recommended the over on America the Beautiful. It closed at 109 at Wager on the internet. And he went 111. So congratulations to everybody who got it on babyface. Then,
That was easy. That was a nice, easy start for you. That wasn't even close.
Nice, easy peasy start. Now, Chris Stapleton, I did not have any action on the anthem, but he went under, correct? Did he go under, Chris Stapleton, on the anthem?
I didn't watch the anthem, I got to be honest.
Nick Sirianni, a faucet during the national anthem. Emotional. Man, does that man love this country.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the game. And then it was tails. Tails for everybody who bet on tails. Congratulations to you. Brent Musburger had tails.
I lost my $5 Caesars promotional bet on heads. Real shame.
Caesars with lots of trouble yesterday. App was down.
I think it's still down.
I think it's still down. For most of the game, they were just paying out people like late last night. 44 minutes after the top of the hour, they finally get this thing going. 6:44 Eastern, 3:44 Pacific. It's like, play the game already. We've waited long enough. The first Super Bowl, as it turned out, ever played on an ice skating rink. That's the first embarrassing thing about this game. It was just unbelievable. People slipping everywhere. We couldn't get this field together after the whole year where we knew it was slippery on this field. That certainly marred things. First thing happens. KC wins the coin toss and defers. And Kevin Burkhardt immediately goes into, oh, what an interesting decision that is. No, both of these teams have deferred all year. It's not interesting. And the reason he used is because, Philadelphia's the best team on the first drives of the season, and then it got corroborated because Philly went down and scored. When will folks in the mainstream media get that it is more important to manipulate the game end of first half, beginning of second half, than anything you could do at the beginning of a game? This drives me crazy. It's so surprising to them. Oh, my God, they deferred. Of course they deferred. By the way, touchback, as I said on this show many, many times the last 2 weeks, priced correctly. The stuff about the ball being heavier, it's overblown. 65% for both teams roughly to touchback all year, and that's, in fact, what happened. But Philadelphia opens the game, 11 plays, 75 yards, 4:51 off the clock. Hurts in from 7-0 Philly, but that after a Gainwell touchdown prop fake out, where it looked like Gainwell was in the end zone and Kelley's 150-1 MVP ticket on Gainwell was on its way.
It was looking live, Gill. It was looking live.
He was 30-1 first touchdown. He was like plus 350 anytime touchdown. By the way, that swung the Jersey first touchdown from over 11.5 to under 11.5.
Yeah.
Oh, man. How great is Super Bowl prop betting? It's Hurts, the first of his 3 7-0 Philly. By the way, we'll go through some commercials later, but that's when the J-Lo Affleck Dunkin' Donuts commercial happened. That was a pretty good one last night.
I was in that of commercials.
You'll have to forgive me with the commercials because it's the first time in 7 years I've been able to watch on my own. So I'm like so excited about commercials again.
I had that thought too, Gill, but still, even by the time like the second quarter hit,
I stopped watching.
I was still like, I got a second TV over here with nothing on it. Let me put something on it because I can't stand commercials.
I just read an article about like the best commercials. I missed 5 of them.
Okay.
Like I apparently I wasn't paying attention enough. Casey gets the ball back. First time now. Not the ball back, but the first time they have it. 6 plays, 75 yards themselves. That took 312. Mahomes to Kelley for 18 touchdown. We are tied. Still early first quarter. And I'm thinking my Kelley 2+ touchdowns thing is going to just easy peasy.
Oh, man, we're going to cash these Kelley props in the first quarter, it looks like. No sweat on those, Gill.
Not so much. Philadelphia, 3 and out. Remember that because that didn't happen again for a long time. 3 plays, 4 yards. Bradley Cooper and the mom commercials began. KC, 2nd and 10. Now on the subsequent drive, 7-7 game. 2nd and 10, the Philadelphia 31. Smith-Schuster and Kelley. This was the acting play where they were acting like they couldn't hear the snap. No play. Hey, where's the play? What's the play call? I don't even know what it is. They gained 7. Mahomes to McKinnon. 2 plays later, though. 4th and 3 at the Philadelphia 24. 4th and 3 at the Philadelphia 24. Andy Reid elects to kick the field goal. Were you surprised by that choice?
No.
I was not either. Butker doinks the 42-yard field goal try. Props cash.
Mm-hmm.
How much did the doink pay? Do we know?
Ooh, I don't know.
I had to check on that.
Yeah.
But that
over
was
4-1. I'm here.
Oh yeah. Sylvester Stallone face commercials. Serena Canelo Romo Michelob Ultra commercials. I got to stop with the commercials. All right, it's a 7-7 game. We go into the second quarter. Philly with the ball now. After that doink, 3rd down. Clark called for offsides when it appeared that Philly's right guard clearly rocked. That was towards the end of the first quarter. That was the last play of the first quarter, I believe, or towards the end. Second quarter, first play, Hurts to Brown, 45 yards, touchdown Eagles, 14-7. Philly is part of a 5-play, 68-yard drive. 2:32 is how long that drive took. Then Casey gets it back, down 14-7. A 3 and out. Now file this away on 3rd down. Juju Smith-Schuster completely interfered with by Bradbury on 3rd down. You remember that when he spun him? And Greg Olsen is like, wow, I can't believe they didn't call that.
Yep.
File that away. Philadelphia gets the ball back. 3rd and 1 at the KC 47. 10-12 left, second quarter. Officials call a false start on Philly only after KC goes crazy about it. That was the thing. The players kept calling it for the refs.
Thank you.
It was like, this is like a playground game where it's like, no, you have to call that.
I didn't want to necessarily push back on the one where you talked about the guard flinching because he did. He did,
but okay.
But you're right. On both of those plays, it's just the other team yelling and pointing about it that seemingly led to the call on each one.
So if Casey doesn't go crazy about the false start, they probably never call this. They end up calling it because Casey's having a conniption.
Mm-hmm.
And so how big did that become? Because on the next play, Hurts fumbles, recovered by Nick Bolton.
Insane.
36 yards to the house, and we are tied at 14. The first Eagles turnover of the postseason. How huge did that play turn out to be?
It was huge. Also, is it just my imagination, or do I feel like we've seen that like 4 times this year in the NFL? And you're like, how do professional football players just drop a football like that? It's like amazing how it just slips out of these guys' hands. Well, it was so cold and icy on the field.
It was a skating rink.
That's right.
Then Philadelphia, 14-14 game. Lane Johnson false starting on 1st and 10 on the KC 49. Olsen even points it out. No call. Yeah, Lane Johnson.
By the way, Olsen continues to grow on me. He was one of those guys that I really didn't think was all that great like a year ago. He continues to grow on me. I love that he went through that entire Lane Johnson process.
Wait a minute, but he let me correct myself. He actually then went into the whole, he just times it so well thing.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm just like, okay, Greg, let's stop with the times it well thing.
Well, I like that he's explaining that to the audience.
I do.
At least whether you think he's jumping or not, he's going through what it's like for an offensive lineman all the way on the end.
I like that he has opinions. Let's put it that way. 4th and 5 for the Eagles at the KC 44. Hurts for 28. 4 plays later, 4th and 2 at the KC 6. Eagles offensive lineman get the refs to call offsides on Derek Nadi. He was totally offsides, by the way.
That one, his helmet was in Kelsey's crotch.
But
it was
but again, it was
how far over are you going to get, man?
But again, it was the team telling the refs to call it. Hey!
That was one of those, though. He lined up.
He did.
He lined
he was
up.
Offside.
His helmet's over the ball, staring down at it. Then he jumps.
It's as if the ball's not 3 feet away from him. Next play, Hurts in from 4 out, 21-14 Eagles. KC starts their own 25 with 2:20 left in the second quarter, down 21-14. 5 and out. Mahomes looks to be in serious pain after a third down tackle by T.J. Edwards. Uh-oh.
Yeah, this was just after I had put in a couple live bets on the Chiefs.
Jack Harlow, Triangle Doritos commercial. And then Philadelphia starts with 1:22 on the clock and all 3 timeouts. 2nd and 1 at the KC 48 with 1 minute left in the half. They're up 7. Hurts, deep ball, right sideline. Initially ruled a catch to Devontae. Reversed to incomplete. Did you think it was going to get reversed?
No.
They have to settle for an Elliott 35-yard field goal. 24-14 going into the half. Somehow only up 10 after that field goal. And while it felt like the Eagles were blowing them out, and they did, we'll tell you about the first half stats in a minute, the Kansas City Chiefs were getting the ball next. It's Gill Alexander. It's Kelley Bydlon, the annual tradition of the Monday morning after the Super Bowl edition of a numbers game. So we went through the first half, and Philly just dominated. And to what tune did they dominate? I'm glad you asked. This is just, first of all, Jalen Hurts, 17 of 22 at the half for 246 yards, 3 total touchdowns, more passing yards, rushing yards, and touchdowns than the Chiefs. First downs, Eagles 17, Chiefs 6. Total yards, Eagles 270, Chiefs 128. And then the time of possession, first half. Time of possession, 21:54 to 8:06.
It was incredible. It was we're going to get into the second half, but it was a masterclass performance by the Eagles in the first half, I thought. Look, the first live bet I made on the Chiefs was after a couple of the Eagles' drives. When we talked about it yesterday on our preview show, where I didn't see Jalen Hurts take a long ball attempt, right? Until that touchdown to A.J. Brown, he didn't really go deep, or I think he did one, but was very inaccurate with it.
He was heaving it.
So I was... a lot of the stuff was crossing routes and stuff like that. So that was the first time I was like, all right, maybe this Hurts shoulder thing's real. That was the first time I got in on Kansas City. Was totally wrong. Jalen Hurts had a absolutely phenomenal game. Him afterward, too, I thought he handled it with complete class. The maturity that he has is incredible. Tip of the cap to Jalen Hurts.
Listen, all the Eagles, Nick Sirianni, Bradbury himself, all of them handled it with class after the game.
Yeah, you're right.
And we'll get to that. I made a second half bet on KC -3. Right when the second half started, I bet them in-game +7. I added to those. We'll get to other little in-game prop bets I made. But that was the story. But it was only a 10-point lead. Despite that statistical domination, only a 10-point lead. And then we must say for halftime, we knew by Friday that the Rihanna bet was a loser. Because it leaked that Rihanna's first song, after a recorded What's My Name, you know that one, Kelley, with Drake. Square root of 69 is a sign. Little recording of that. Then she starts, and it was all worded, what's her first recorded vocals? How about the choice to go with, "B better have my money"? Really? That's what they came up with to start? We knew this by Friday, but it's like, that was your choice?
Yeah, that was a little interesting.
Her last song was Diamonds, which was also an interesting, weird song to end on. But bigger,
I think that one had to do with the not the choreography, right? But the stage rising, which Gill and I were both very uncomfortable with.
This is the biggest story of the halftime is Rihanna elevated so high right after having a baby, mind you, by the way, where she got a child and maybe she should worry about her life in a way that she shouldn't have before. She couldn't have cared less. She was like, "This is cool. I would have died up there."
Yes.
At first, I thought it was CGI, and I'm like, no, that thing's moving.
So you first texted me about it when she came down, and I was with you then. I was like, yeah, that's not something I would be doing. And then she got down on the ground level, and I'm like, okay, like that's it.
Yeah.
So when she went back up, I'm like, what are we doing here?
We're gonna have to delay the game 30 minutes to rescue Rihanna.
That's what I texted you. That can you imagine if she got stuck? We had to delay the Super Bowl to get Rihanna down.
We have a situation. It was amazing, though. That was Patrick Claymont, by the way, on Twitter. Rihanna on a platform hundreds of feet in the air might have been the most stable footing anyone had tonight. What a great tweet.
Best tweet I saw.
Best tweet of the night. So true. All right, second half, Chiefs get the ball first. And again, Kevin Burkhardt, I love you, but this is why teams defer, man. This is why. Casey, 10 plays, 75. Casey was unstoppable in the second half. 10 plays, 75 yards, took 530. Pacheco in from 1 out, and all of a sudden it's a 3-point game, 24-21. You don't think Andy Reid was making adjustments? Andy Reid, I don't know if it was at halftime or before halftime, whatever. Wow, this was a tour de force from Andy Reid, now a 2-time Super Bowl champion coach. Philly gets the ball back. First play, Miles Sanders catches a Hurts pass. He turns. He's hit by L'Jarius Sneed. Fumble on the field, recovered by Nick Bolton, returned to the house. Is it a touchdown? Is it Nick Bolton's second touchdown of the game? Ooh. Are we going to have to give him the MVP? But ruled correctly incomplete.
So people want to talk, we'll get to the call at the end, obviously. But that one, so Gill, if that happens in the end zone, are we touchdown?
Yes.
We were a touchdown.
Well, no, we're not. It's the same thing.
It's
the same
honestly,
thing.
I've got no idea what it catches.
It's the same thing. There was not a football motion.
And then we're talking about like a third foot. Well, it's okay. He turned up field.
He turned, but he didn't move.
Third step.
No, he turned, but you have to make a foot. I mean, that to me, and I've got the Chiefs now. Not for 1 second did I believe that was.
That was one of those that real time. It looks crystal clear, like it's incomplete. But you start slowing it down, and I'm like, all right, yes.
No, that was incomplete. Eventually, 3rd and 14 at the KC 47. Hurts to Goddard, ruled complete on the field, followed by the officials clarifying a substitution rule. That allowed KC to challenge it, and it was upheld. Were you surprised that it was upheld?
Yeah, I was.
You can bet on replays offshore. And people seem to get that, like at the first wave was people thinking it was going to get overturned, and then it quickly bounced back to people who were saying it was upheld, and they were right.
Yeah, I thought, at least on the first couple looks, I thought it was definitely going to get overturned. Once they kind of were breaking it down more, I could see it, but...
We got to get through this. 2 plays later, 3rd and 1, pitch to Sanders, no gain, and then the 4th and 1, the Tuchus push converts again. By the way, we got to outlaw the Tuchus push, where you can put all your players behind and just push.
Run it every play until they don't.
I'm serious. Some team is going to just say, well, let's do the Tuchus push every single down, and we'll just matriculate down the field that way.
If you're the Saints, why isn't your whole offense coming in?
That should be the Saints' entire offense.
Build out that interior offensive line, Taysom Hill, and 2 big running backs behind him just pushing.
By the way, shout out Todd Wishnet for the Tuchus push coining. Next play, the only sack of the game for either team, a technical one because Hurts loses a yard, sacked by Kalen Saunders. They eventually have to settle for a 33-yard Jake Elliott field goal, 27-21 Philly. KC gets the ball back, again unstoppable. 9 plays, 75 yards, 441. Mahomes to Tony from 5 out. No one within a country mile of him. 28-27. The Chiefs have their first lead of the game. We're in the 4th quarter.
Let's go.
Then Philly, 3 and out. When was the last time that happened?
Yeah.
Tony, 6, and then here comes the punt. The punt from Aaron Sipas, who was activated for this game. Tony looks like he catches it sort of as a ground ball, regains his balance, and goes 65 yards, the longest punt return in Super Bowl history. And the Chiefs are set up, and if you're a Chiefs backer, you're going ballistic. 3 plays later, Mahomes to Shea Moore from 4 out, 35-27 again. Shea Moore on the other side of the field, wide open beyond belief. Chiefs by 8, but Philly's not going to die. Philly's not going to die. I'm sorry.
Sky Moore?
Oh, what did I say? Shea. Oh, Sky Moore, pardon me. What did I say?
You got SGA on the mind.
Typo on the thing here. Philly, 8 plays, 75 yards, 407. They're down 8. They don't care. Hurts to Devontae Smith for 45 on 1st and 10 at the KC 47. Next play, Hurts in from 1 out on the Tuchus push, 35-33. And then on the 2-point conversion, I was shocked that they went into shotgun formation. I was like, why aren't they doing another Tuchus push?
Yeah.
Nope, but he still got in. 35-35, 5:15 left. How about that Tubi commercial that started in where everybody thought their TVs went out? Do you remember that? It's like, what happened to my TV? Why am I on an app? KC gets the ball now. 1st and 10 at the Philly 43. 2:55 left. the big run of the game. Mahomes for 26. Never seen him run faster in my life. His 5th longest carry of his career. It ends up 2nd and 8 at the Philly 15 with 2 minutes left, 35-35. Then 3rd and 8 at the 15 with 1:54 left, the play that everybody's going to be talking about. James Bradberry grabs Smith-Schuster with one hand, pulls, grabbed him a little with the second hand, but you saw the jersey move. It gets flagged. Olsen disagrees on the broadcast. What's our referee guy? What's our man? Mike Pereira thinks it is a penalty. They have a disagreement. And with one timeout left for Philly and a new set of downs for Casey, the game is effectively over. Because the next play, McKinnon goes 9 yards and smartly slides down at the 2. Mahomes then does his kneel down thing where he goes back 5 yards, then another 2.
I had to check where his yardage was at.
It's like, are we going to do this again,
I had to
Patrick
pull
Mahomes?
the box score.
Me
Like, how
too.
many yards does he have right now? I
Me
got to
too.
check this. Like,
Me
okay,
too.
he's safe. He's going to be safe.
And then with 11 seconds left, Butker kicks the 27-yard chip shot, 38-35, 8 seconds left. Philly gets the ball at their own 36 with 4 seconds left. You think a pitchy woo is coming. Instead, it's just Hurts heaving it to no one. Incomplete. Ball game. Chiefs, Super Bowl champions. 38-35, their second title in 4 years. And the Eagles, a valiant effort. A valiant effort. If these teams play 10 times, what is it? 5-5, 6-4?
6-4.
Yeah. Yeah.
6-4, I don't know which way.
Give him credit in defeat, but not enough. Or what is going to be, I mean, again, if he retires today, which he's not, Patrick Mahomes walks right into the Hall of Fame.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.